Hello, today I'll be showing you how to shorten webbing straps and finish the ends. All of our waist belts and shoulder straps have a maximum circumference of 150 centimeters or about 59 inches, including the bag, so some people will have a little extra length. If this is you, you can cut your webbing shorter. For this process, you'll need scissors, a lighter, and a needle and thread. I'm going to shorten the waist belt on my Fastpack Pro BP 250 AW3. For measuring, I'm going to put on my winter jacket to make sure that everything will still fit regardless of season.
Okay, waist belt on, and tighten this down. It should get these pretty even. As I'm considering length, I want to leave about 5 cm at the end so I can make another stopper like this, and then, I don't know, 10 cm or 4 inches where I can grab it to pull it tight. Looks like about 24 cm on this side, so I'll take 9 off at the most. I'll probably just cut 4 or 5 centimeters off the end. I can always go back and cut more later. I'd rather cut a little bit, test it, and make sure it's okay, because it's not possible to put it back on. When cutting the webbing, try to cut straight across the grain of the webbing. This will help us keep a clean edge. If you want to practice, you can practice on the upper end that you're going to cut off anyway. This is also a good place to test that your scissors can give you a good clean cut on the webbing. A little practice one. Looks pretty clean. It's still a little bit messy. I think I can get a little bit cleaner on the later one. Now I have this straight raw edge. It looks really clean right now, but it will fray over time if I don't finish it. We can do this with a lighter or a candle. When using an open flame to melt the webbing, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area and have water nearby for extinguishing the webbing if needed. So we're gonna hold this flame a few centimeters away from the end and slowly move it closer until we see the webbing start to shrink away. As you're doing this, make sure that none of your body is underneath the webbing in case it drips a little bit. Slowly back and forth. Now the end is all melted. If I wanted, I could take a pair of pliers as I'm doing this and I could pinch the edge to make it really smooth. This is pretty difficult to get right. I'm not super good at it, so I'm not going to do it. And this is going to be a nice stable edge as is. I could call this done, but if I leave the webbing end like this, it could slide out of the adjuster, especially now that this tail is shorter. So let's add a stop to the end. From the extra length we left at the end, we'll fold back about 2 cm or a little less than 1 inch and pinch it down, just like that. Now we'll sew it down. If you don't want to sew this, you could also try something like a small rivet or an eyelet if you have a tool for that. So I'll take my thread. There are a lot of ways to start and end a simple stitch like this. This is how I do it. If you already have a preferred method, do it that way. So I'm going to start in the middle and then work my way out to one end and then back to the other. So the important thing here is first that it holds, and second, if you're worried about it, you can try to make it look nice. All right, and finishing back in the center. By starting and stopping in the center, we keep those loose edges away from the ends where they're more likely to just snag on something and start to pull out over time. A little messy, but I'm pretty confident that this won't fall apart. You can also do this whole process with a sewing machine if you have access to one. Just make sure your machine is able to sew through a couple layers of webbing. I broke a lot of needles on my mom's machine doing this when I was a kid. Now we have a finished end that won't slide out of our adjuster and won't fray over time. Hope this helps. Good luck out there.